welcome to Bob's Bulletins. Today's top story, we talking to ghosts. Yep, in this video we're going to be taking a look at a movie called ParaNorman that was released in August of 2012. It was directed by a man of Chris Butler and Sam Fell, and you'll recognize Chris from such films as Corpse Bride and Coraline. So if that didn't give you a hint, this is a claymation film and it does kind of have a wicked theme to it. So to jump right into the story, this story is all about a boy named Norman, and he can talk to ghosts, and no one around him believes him. So basically, it's about his journey to cope with not only talking to ghosts and trying to get his family to believe that he does actually talk to them, but also there is this side story that they live in a town kind of like Salem, Massachusetts, where there's witch trials, so there's a witch's curse. And he's going to have to put a stop to the witch's curse because the old guy, Mr. Prendergast, died, and he was the guy that was keeping the witch's curse at bay. So it kind of passed on to Norman because he can talk to ghosts. So that's pretty much all of the story. There's a few other characters. His sister's name is Courtney. His friends Neil and Alvin's kind of like the school bully. All these, and Mitch is Neil's older brother. So all of them come together to kind of set out on a little adventure to stop the witch's curse. There's not much more in this movie than that. There's some awkward scenes here and there, but that's basically the gist of it. So in this writing, I think there is not necessarily plot holes, but it kind of drags on, and you're like, okay, let's get it over with. I don't think it has a very good flow to it. The story itself is enjoyable, but I think it would have been better as a short. As a short, it would have done very well, but they just tried to expand it over, a whole movie, an hour and a half. And to me, that actually took away from it because you have so much filler and stuff and little dumb moments that probably shouldn't have happened. So it's still enjoyable, but just know it does kind of drag here and there. And I mean, it's definitely not a movie you'd want to see over and over. It is kind of like that. But to jump right into the animation, like I said, it is claymation. And I think this is where the effort of the movie really went because they did a very good job of creating this world. The character design is just unique and awesome. They look weird, and you can tell they're not, kind of human correct, but they are really well designed and everything, kind of add to the flair of this world. There's a few nature scenes in this, graveyard scenes that are very well done. Whoever designed the trees and stuff made it look just creepy and awesome. The ghost, when the ghosts appear in this movie, they kind of have a green glow around to them. I don't know if they did that with computer animation, or if they actually they had a character in there and then they just added the green glow to it later. I don't know. However they did it, made it look believable and awesome. The ghostly figures kind of moved like ghosts, how you think ghosts would move. It's really cool on that note. It was kind of jerky and a lot of weird movements here and there, but a little bit of that is expected out of claymation, especially a smaller claymation work as this. But it's still enjoyable. The animation doesn't take away from it. I think it adds to it. It kind of fills that spot where the story dips, because even if you're not that into the story, you can still enjoy this wonderful world that they have created and just fall in love with it. There's a couple scenes in there where I'm trying to figure out how to say it without spoiling it, but there's a couple scenes in there where he kind of goes to another dimension or another world, maybe like a premonition kind of thing, and those scenes are very well done, and just the flares, how they move and stuff like that are pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So just to jump into the voice acting a little bit, Cody Smith-McPhee played Norman, and he did a pretty good job playing this weird little outcast kid that wants to fit in, but he's having trouble, especially since he has this unique gift to talk to ghosts. Anna Kendrick was in it, and she played his older sister, Courtney. She's a great actress. She did a very good job in this movie as well. John Goodman, the great John Goodman, was in this film as well, playing Mr. Prendergast. Even though he had a short line, he did a good job of selling this crazy dude that you can tell is just tired of doing this witch's curse and is glad to be rid of it. So I don't think the voice acting took away from it. It kind of added to it as well. There was some overacting on one of the characters, but it was on purpose, and it kind of added some funny moments. I think it didn't take away from it. It added to it. It was very nice. So overall, just to kind of wrap it up, this film was enjoyable, and the animation was great. It was enjoyable, but the story kind of dipped. It did drag on. There was some funny moments. You could tell there were some moments they tried to get, like, you know, some tears flowing or an emotional moment, but it didn't really happen. It was kind of like, okay, is it gonna wrap up? Or it didn't happen to me. I could just be soulless, I don't know, but it didn't really happen to me. They didn't build the character attachment, and even at the end you're like, okay, I can kind of see why Norman's, you know, weird. I mean, if you've seen a kid just walking down the street talking to random, just talking to nothing, you'd probably look a little weird too. So it's like that, but overall I'm gonna say this movie is watch on Netflix. I actually don't know, I don't think it's on Netflix, but watch on Netflix. If you can find a place to watch it for free. Maybe you've already seen it. It is an older movie. I definitely don't think it's worth, you know, you're not going to watch it over and over again. You're not just going to tear up the disc. It is a very good movie, and the animation is amazing, but that story just drags it down, unfortunately, which is sad. I still, like I said earlier, if it was in a short, it probably would be one of the better films. I wish sometimes films will do that. A lot of films like to add, you know, fluff to them, and it just makes them super long, and they could take that fluff out. And I would prefer personally a 30-minute film that's amazing versus an hour-and-a-half one that's just, you're falling asleep by the end of it, just wanting them to move on. But anyway, I know I've droned on enough, so if you like this video, make sure you leave a like and leave a comment down below of what you would like to see me review next, and what you think of this movie, if you've seen it or if you're gonna see it. And while you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss any issues of Bob's Bulletin. Until next time, Bob out.